now to get to the game I got on Christmas one year in 2011 that got me into RPGs. I know this sounds basic, but Skyrim, the open world, was one of the most fantastic feats I have ever experienced in a game. Ever. I remember when I was first introduced to it, I was like, whoa, open worldness with RPG. You can chop wood. Oh my, you can even fight as a soldier, as a mage. Look at this forest. Chop more wood. Oh, the dragons have returned. Oh my god, look at this. And I remember the first time I played through it, Skyrim, I was so amazed by the conversation with Pathanax, voiced by Mario, by the way, talking about time itself, and how time itself was transmutable as an energy, and talking about what the Elder Scrolls are as an etheric piece of knowledge of time and prophecy. Going through all that, fighting the Alduin, the World Eater, and bringing the Blades, Dragon Slayers, back from the dead. It all kind of felt fantastic to play through, and it was just a constant surge of joy. Going through the wilderness, going through the streams, falling down waterfalls, fighting mud crabs, fighting spriggans, fighting those Dwemer death trap machines, and then finding out that it's more than just a couple quests, but you can start your own journey and create your own journey, and then you figure out you have a rival in a DLC, so you go to Solstheim, and you just create this fantastic story with all these quests, side quests, and also there are like 18, 19 different side quests, and if you truly wanted to, you can build your own house, get all the materials to build an entire house, retire with all your gold, with all your quest items, just decorate your house with it, then get married and adopt children. And in the latter stages of the game, you can just be a warrior father teaching his son or daughter. It kind of felt good. The whole game was fantastic. But one of my favorite parts, and the parts I played through the most, in every single playthrough, would be the Vampire Dawnguard storyline. And it kind of felt like it went to home with me, actually joining the vampire clan and growing a crush on Serena, and fighting your father, of course. But yeah, like the whole thing with the Vigilant of Stendarr, the whole religious thing going on, kind of felt like what was most at home for me. And it kind of felt like you can either choose to be the Vampire of the Night or a Vampire Hunter. And it felt like I could be myself and find myself in a video game that way. Because, well, you only live once type of deal. But the best thing about it is you can sneak into stores and steal all of their health potions so you don't have to buy them and stuff like that. And there's just a whole bunch of quests in the game too that have almost a philosophical side, and you have a whole bunch of choices that you are not ready to deal with or comprehend. And I know the whole thing, religious thing, and the whole thing with the Civil War, it kind of felt like the Empire was just making up reasons to oppress people, but the Resistance were just coming up with reasons to start a resistance. So both sides kind of like they were making shit up to start this clan war of sorts. But going back to Solstheim, it kind of felt good to fully understand the people of Morrowind and their religion, because in a video game I've never had a religion that I've connected most to other than the Morrowind religion, following the 3 Daedric gods, you know. Azira, the goddess of night and dawn. I know in high school I used to call myself, and I named myself on my first or second Facebook, Azira, after the Daedric goddess of dawn and dusk. So, but going through all of this side quest kind of felt like a very good thing. And my favorite part of the whole game was the whole magic system. You can use necromancy to raise the dead. You can use alchemy to make your potions. But also you can use the enchanter's table to enchant your arms and weapons. That felt really good. Kind of like a freedom of choice there, what kind of magician you want to be. Or if you don't want to be a magician, you can also be... Well, they removed the class system, but you can basically choose to be a warrior or a mage. And it kind of felt good going through the game with healing spells and shock spells and revive the dead spells, and kind of play as a bad guy, as a vampire, and use the seduction spells to, you know, it kind of felt good just to like sneak into people's houses and draining them of blood and becoming an enemy of the entire village, and kind of targeting an entire village mentally. I know there was a side quest that had a vampire doing the same thing. I think it was Alva, the character Alva, that was targeting an entire village in the snow. So it really all kind of felt good. The whole game felt fantastic. But what I found most intriguing were the vast amount of things you can do. You can be an archer. You can be an archer. You can be a one-sword person. You can merge warrior and mage and have a spell in one hand and a sword in another, or ditch that and become a two-handed swordsman. And going around and fighting these necromancers and these vampires, or joining the necromancers and the vampires and becoming your own little antagonist of sorts. And the whole thing kind of like allows you to become that sort of anti-hero. And there's 16, I know the Daedric quest in Oblivion were slightly disappointing, kind of like, oh, take these guys out and I'll reward you. But in these games it feels like you're becoming almost a servant of the Daedra Lords. And actually doing all those quests for the Daedric Lords and becoming a prince of your own darkness felt just as good. But playing through that vampire DLC and wiping out the sun with Azira's bow, that felt fantastic. But also the Sovngarde, going to Sovngarde to beat the dragon, the ultimate world eater, was very memorable and was one of my favorite points in the game. But also going to hang on, not Sovngarde, let me think for a minute. Going to Solstheim and understanding the people of Morrowind, or Northern Morrowind, and going through that and understanding the Skald, and then continuing your servanthood to Hermaeus Mora, the Daedric god of all knowledge, and becoming his servant, or becoming his chosen one of sorts, and going through that felt good too. So you can go through all of his realms, read those black books, or inspired grimoires. You can read black books of black magic, and enter the realm of Hermaeus Mora, the god of forbidden knowledge. And understanding that, and going into that, it felt really good. Unlocking all of those skills at the end of each one, and then becoming a servant of Hermaeus Mora and wiping out the Skald people. That felt good too. So in the end, this game is really fantastic. But the best part is actually going and hiding into dark caves if you're a vampire, Kind of, you can role play as whoever you want, but you can also hide in caves and become a vampire lord and become arch nemesis of entire villages. Or you can join the village defense against the vampires. You can block out the sun. But also the lycanthropy of this game, and I like the whole idea in this game that lycanthropy, everything behind lycanthropy in this game, has to do with Nordic honor. But overall, this game is worth having because it is the game to play. Kind of role playing. You can role play as whoever you want. You can even role play as a villager if you choose that to be. You can chop wood for the village, or you can become a vampire lord and wipe out the entire village off that map. And get a whole bunch of letters saying, "Oh, we're sorry, these people died. Here's some money, mourn them," you know? And that is just the atmosphere of this whole game. And it's some of the best stuff I've ever played. Especially when you walk around at night and you see the Ouroboros. That is some of the most beautiful visual artwork I think I've ever seen in a game ever. And this game I highly recommend.